Well, um, looks like Mr. Lowry is kind of missing in action, so there's no telling what may be said on this show tonight. I might go completely unfiltered. So, what we're going to do tonight, as you may have seen in the show graphic that we have for show 213, Sweat Equity, we're going to try something different here in just a few minutes, and we're hoping it'll work. If it doesn't, it's going to, well, fall flat on its face, but we're hoping to be able to bring Duke and Colonel Crockett and whoever else may be around in live from the street and give us some reporting on the progress of the Term Limits Coalition. They are out there gathering signatures during the heat of the day, and it could be interesting. I mean, we're going to try this. I mean, we know we can get Duke in on his phone, but we're actually going to attempt to go through the process of interviewing someone or having them sign the petition live if somebody is willing to do that as they go to door, and kind of let everybody experience what it's like to be walking around gathering signatures on the petition. So I'm going to be doing it solo here for a little bit. We're going to try to get Duke in here here in about, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, kind of out of the count after the countdown and all that and the break, and see what we come up with. See what we can come up with. So again, may work, may not. We'll find out pretty soon. But I want to share something with y'all. So this was sent to us. Uh, and it's a quote from Elon Musk. And of course, you know, for the most part, I think Duke and I are both pretty good fans of many of the things that Elon Musk has been doing. Hey, good to see all you guys too. Let me squirrel moment here and say hello to Barry Butler. All right, so Miranda Dunn says she can't hear me, but everybody else, Jessica says she can hear us. So, Miss Judy, hello, Barry Butler. Can you hear us? Let me know in the comments. Should be getting audio loud and clear. Let me double check on my phone. And again, everybody bear with me. I'm flying solo literally by the seat of my pants right now. So let's see what we've got going on here. Let me listen in and see if my audio is coming through. Oh yeah, I've got audio. Okay. So Miranda, if you can't hear, maybe if you're watching on your phone or whatever, maybe get out completely, swipe up on your app and come back into the app. Whether you're listening on YouTube, I think you were actually on Facebook, and see if you can and try it that way. So yeah, I'm getting. Okay, Miranda says she can hear us now. All right, so good to go. All right. So anyway, we are literally, well, I say we like I have a mouse in my pocket. I'm flying solo for one of the very few times in the 213 episodes we've done this show. So let me switch over to this screen. I want to play this video from Elon Musk real quick. So give me just a second here. Let's see. Let me click that button. And y'all listen to this. This is, I think, pretty telling.
Now, the thing that a lot of traditional journalists don't like is they don't like being put on the same platform as the average citizen. They don't like their voice being the same. They're pretty mad about that. I think it's very important to elevate citizen journalism. I think it's very important to hear the voice of the people, the actual voice of the people, not the filtered voice of the people. And let the people choose the narrative, and let the people determine the truth. And not 5 editors-in-chiefs of major publications. Do you want to know what's really going on, or do you want their opinion? You know, it's a handful of people. I think we want to know the voice of the people, the true voice of the people. Now, the thing that
So what do y'all think about that? I think that's pretty much true. Whether it's what we call traditional journalism, or we joke about dinosaur media, whether it's traditional politics, the politicians and the traditional journalists are not used to people having their own platform. So, for instance, we've got a pretty darn good platform here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and we're able to broadcast out. And we're using cool software and all that to do it. But the truth of the matter is, you have just as much voice as we do. I mean, you can pull out your phone and hit Facebook Live or hit YouTube Live, and start pushing out your own content just as easily as we can. As a matter of fact, probably easier because, well, you don't have to worry about all these computer screens that I've got going here and trying to get remote guests in. But that's the beauty of social media. It's not the social media and all the griping and bickering that we see. That's really just a reflection of people in general, to be quite honest. But the beauty of the internet and social media is the sharing of information, and that you, as the average person, average citizen, average tax-paying citizen, can elevate your voice up to the same level, many times greater than the level of traditional journalists and the politicians. And look, I think that drives them insane. I mean, just last week, we exposed here on this show Richard Ray's ability to, I'm saying flat out lie, and it can be proven, at very best, spit out his doublespeak. And we were able to point that out blow by blow, word by word, where he was absolutely not telling the truth. I went ahead and released, and I'll show you that real quick, and then we'll go to the break. So I went ahead and released some summaries of our last show and of the workshop itself. And that's for those of you that may not have gotten the opportunity to watch the whole Charter Commission workshop. But this way, at least you can scan through these summaries. These are posted on Facebook right now. And you can go through these and take a look and at least see the major points that were made during that meeting. And so I did a general summary, and then I also generated a summary of Preston's comments. And to be fair, even though we're obviously biased and readily admit that, to be fair, I also posted a summary of Richard Ray's comments as well, because they're pretty telling. And this is posted on the Facebook page right now. So after the show, go take a look if you're wondering what I'm talking about. All right. Hello, Terry Norris. Hello, Val Baker. Glad to see all of y'all. We're up to about 60 people now. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to the break, and then we'll see if we can get Duke to come on. Y'all know the drill. Grab you a quick drink, grab you some popcorn. I'll be back in about 3.5 to 4 minutes. It's not going to be a very long show tonight, and I'll explain more about that after the break. But we're going to see if we can get Duke on. So let's go to the break. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. Watch and Louisiana Watch reach thousands of people each and every week across YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Plus, we have expanded into live shows and videos under the Outdoor News on Facebook and YouTube. We have a very dedicated and growing audience around the regional, Bossier, and Louisiana area. We reach over 60,000 people each month across all platforms. Even the Bossier City Mayor's office admits to watching us.
Really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys. Believe it or not, I really watch you guys all the time. And I appreciate your platform and how you kind of put it out there.
As citizen journalists, we provide professionally produced live shows with consistent scheduling and interview interesting people, give our opinions, and yes, get on our soapboxes from time to time. With thousands of engaging comments weekly, you can rest assured as an advertiser and partner, your company or organization's brand will be shown and promoted consistently and professionally. Whether in our opening countdown or the background graphics of our shows or on our website, you can rest assured that your brand will reach our expanding audience and increase your visibility. We offer flexible, no-hassle advertising options, and we can work within any budget. Contact us now through our advertisers page on our websites or directly through social media. Let's get your brand recognized.
If folks knew a lot of the back office on the politicians that they think walk on water, they would be shocked.
You know, there's an old wound from a knife in my back that just is giving me heck lately, and it's just really irritating, so I have to kind of wiggle around a little bit.
Well, I've not heard my name in stable or Baton Rouge in stable in the same sentence in a long time.
I titled it A Shot Across the Bow of the Good Old Boys.
just, they feel helpless, they don't feel heard, they have nowhere to turn.
Some Republicans as well believe that government has the answers. And let me tell y'all something. I don't know anything government does well. Nothing.
And aren't there laws that say that you have public meetings so that the public can have accountability of their elected officials?
They're making a little bit of progress, but I would definitely have to give the race to Caddo Parish right now. Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anybody from Plain Dealing watching, you think?
As a member of the media, I'm very concerned about what I've just heard.
Did you or did you not requisition money to fight against this or for it?
We hired a lobbyist, and it cost us $15,000. We were opposed to HB 630.
So for this week, folks, the cockroach of the week, according to bossierwatch and Duke Lowry and Rex Moncrief, is
Raymond Cruz legislative assistant, Allie Feaster Smith. Thank you, Allie.
Well, I'm not thinking Star Wars at all. I'm thinking zombie apocalypse.
No way,
Okay,
it was not
okay.
David. You know it wasn't David Montgomery. David ain't gonna jump off in there with Chris. He ain't gonna do it. He'd soon spit on him as he would even look at him. Man, this is a Mickey D's Krispy Kreme week. Didn't you know? Who's paying y'all? And if you're driving on the roads, are you safe?
It's on the road, yeah.
Well, I know you're on the road, but I mean, is this all folks coming from the border down there?
Yeah, it's going to border. It's actually going to Mexico, the buses.
doesn't mean they interpret it the same way that I do. For instance, the Second Amendment. I take it very literally. That's been interpreted different ways in the court system all the way up to SCOTUS. Yeah, that's only going to cause more division that he claims he doesn't want to cause. And it's only going to cause more suspicion. We're still right now combined on both pages and YouTube at 264 people watching. That is amazing. Folk Coleman Project, the Walker Place deal. Through conscious, shocking actions. The purpose of their actions was to stop plaintiffs, being the Earl Coleman and associated groups and all that, from developing Walker Place. But here's a key thing, which in turn would enrich sitting city council members Scott Irwin and David Montgomery Jr.
You hit the button, does that mean that people are like seeing us sitting here talking?
Well,
chatting?
in theory, it's an every week thing. We got to double check and make sure it's like a miracle any of this actually works. This live broadcast is brought to you by the Outdoor News, fishing and outdoors for our area. Acadiana Mortgage, over 25 years in the mortgage business. Pelican Training and Consulting. Reach out to Julie Ferris. Smarter Geek, making technology easier. And folks sharing information and watching out. Now, grab your popcorn and a drink. Here we go. All right, we are back, or at least I'm back, and we're working right now. So Duke, the Colonel, let's see, who else is on my list that's out there? Cassie Rogers, Cliff Smith, Alice Boyer, all out there. Let me get Duke assigned over here. Give me just a second. All right, Mr. Lowry, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Do y'all have me clear?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. I hope everybody in the audience can, so let us know in the comments real quick, but I can hear you loud and clear. So what's going on? I mean, I told everybody you're out gathering signatures. You're the man on the street. What are you up to?
Well, so in a previous show, we highlighted a lot of comments that took place at the Charter Commission, and one of the Charter Commission members, allegedly said or something to the effect or whatever. I don't even have to frame it that way. I don't even have to do that. But basically said that if you sign a petition or that you're being duped by the people out getting signatures, or that I think she was trying to infer that the people who were signing the petitions were just ignorant and didn't know anything about term limits. So you and I got together, we kind of talked about it a little bit, and we should be telling the other side of the story. And so we said, hey, why don't we try to do some signature collecting at the door and let everybody see how it goes.
Right. Yeah, good idea. Man on the street deal. Here we go. So, what have you
So,
got lined up?
well, I don't really have much lined up, but what I am going to do is I'm going to start off. I'm going to go to a door. I'm going to knock on it, and I'm going to, introduce myself, and then ask if they'd be willing to do an interview and if they'll sign the petition
Well,
and
this should
answer
be interesting.
any questions that they may have. Now, I may have to, I don't know how to flip my camera around here. I guess I may have to hold it over my shoulder and do it GoPro style.
Yeah, either way, whatever works out convenient. I mean, this is live, folks, so we're going to see how this goes, but here we go. And so,
And not okay. Somebody's coming to the door.
all right.
Hello, how you doing?
Hi, good.
Hey, my name's Duke Lowry. I'm with the Bossier Term Limits Coalition, and you may have heard about the term limits effort.
Yeah, I saw a sign down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people fighting us that they don't want term limits, and we think that government wasn't meant to be a permanent job. That people should go in, serve their time, and go and give other people an opportunity.
Yeah.
And do you have any questions about term limits? And
no, is that just for Bossier? You all are kind of.
Yes, ma'am. Just for Bossier City, for the Bossier City Council and the Bossier City Mayor's Office. They currently don't have any term limits, and you've got a majority of the council, as I appreciate, right at over 20 years in there. And of course, those are the councilmen, the majority of them that don't want term limits. One of your at-large councilmen and one of your district councilmen, they are in favor, and they've signed the petition, and so has your mayor. So we're proposing that we limit those offices to 12 total years, and after that, they have to go home. They can't run for those offices again.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that, but I mean, I don't know.
Indifferent.
Yeah, kind of indifferent.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think Congress has done a good job because they don't have term limits?
No, they don't.
No, ma'am, they don't. Some of them have been in there over 50 years. And yeah, I mean, maybe just me thinking that's why we have trillions in dollars of debt. And, maybe if we'd had a better chance if we'd have had a little bit of turnover in there. So, and signing this petition doesn't make it so. This only gives the citizens of Bossier the opportunity to vote on it. That's all that it does. Yeah. And some people say, because some people criticize us and they say that we don't tell the other side of the story. And here's one of the things on the other side of the story. They say, well, if you put term limits, you enable the lobbyists to have more influence over government. Well, again, I'll use Congress as an example. Has that prevented the lobbyists?
No.
Not really, has it? So anyway, we'd appreciate your help on our petition. And like I said, this doesn't make it so. This just gives the citizens of Bossier the opportunity to vote on it if they collectively agree with it.
Okay, I'll sign it.
Awesome. And all I need is your signature in that box, your address, and a real big thing is the year of birth, because, we did this last year and we collected, I think it was almost 3,500 signatures, and we didn't put the year of birth on it. And they sued us to stop it because it didn't have the year of birth.
Oh, okay.
Well, the thing is the Secretary of State gave us the document and said that if we didn't have to put the year of birth on, if we had the voter ID number on there. So the city of Bossier, or those councilmen that don't want to, leave, they want to continue to be in there, they filed suit with your tax dollars and got a judge to say that he has to have a strict interpretation of the law, and then invalidated our petition. So we just said, okay, we're going to do it again.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate your signature. So.
Well, that was educational.
You still there?
I'm still here. Can you still hear us?
I can hear you loud and clear. Does anybody feel like I deceived her?
I don't think you did, and there's no comments. I mean, there were some comments asking how can people not sign the petition with that explanation. So, and look, contrary to what Princess Juliana says, you did present both sides of it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that that's not the side that she would have wanted to present, but you know, it is what it is. I reckon. What?
Now, I
So
want to
it
give you
what?
an update real quick because you probably can't see the comments and you were busy getting the signature. But Ryan Haygood, our good friend Ryan Haygood, just reported that he's got that they just got 21 names in carriage oaks.
Good job, good job. Well, he better catch up because I am on myself. I'm on 30. Let's see, 34 signatures so far this afternoon. All right, I'm going to another door. I'm
Okay.
gonna go for broke here. I'm gonna see if this person would be willing to be on camera. And I'm gonna
Okay.
turn around and do the GoPro view.
All right.
Ooh, it's hot as Hades out here. I just seen on a temperature thing it was like 110 degrees. Hey, how you doing? Hey, you heard about the term limit efforts in Bossier City?
No.
Okay, well, you know how politicians get into office and they stay forever and ever and ever and they won't, leave?
Yeah, I need to.
Yeah, you're laughing. So, hey, I want to ask you another question. You seem like a good sport. Would you be willing to do a live interview regarding term limits?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I'm gonna. Look, I ain't real good at cameras and all that, but I'm gonna turn it around so I can get us both in here.
I'm good with
Now,
that.
so where you at?
Oh,
Oh, you're
perfect.
towering over the short. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So here's what I want to know. Have you
Oh, and technology gets in the
ever
way.
met before? bossierwatch? Say again, Rex.
Oh, no, go ahead. It's just a little bit of lag, but y'all are doing good. Keep on.
Okay. So, well, how do you feel about term limits? Do you support or oppose term? Do you know what they are?
I know what they are, and I think every single office in the country needs term limits. Everything from a governor to a senator, even principals at high school need term limits.
Okay. So, what would you say to a politician that says that the public is ignorant to what term limits is, and that they don't know the benefits, the pros, the cons? They don't know all sides of it. Do you think that's accurate?
That's actually ignorant to say that because that's something that they teach in every high school in the country. What term limits are. You have to know your term limits for your president. Term limits is something they tell citizens to get the U.S. citizen test. They have to know term limits for the president. So that's a pretty dumb thing to say.
Wow. So, like, we're proposing terms for mayor and council of 12 years. That's 3 terms, and then they can't do any more than that. Do you think that's too much, or do you think that's just right, or what do you think?
I mean, if we're going from no term limits all to imposing some type of term limits, I would say maybe we could start there. But personally, I don't. If the president could only serve 8 years, I don't know why anybody else should serve more than 8 years too.
All right. Well, last question. Will you sign my petition, and are you a registered voter?
Absolutely.
You're a registered voter, or
Yes,
you'll
sir.
sign it?
Both of them.
Okay.
Both of them.
Well, signature, address, year of birth, and print your name.
Okay.
All right. Well, there y'all have that interview.
Think he said it pretty succinctly and pretty daggum well.
So, does anybody have any questions or anybody? I mean, look, there's 100 of y'all watching. I mean, is there any questions that? I mean, this gentleman's willing to tell you what he thinks. So, I mean,
Yeah. I
we
mean,
don't get this opportunity that often.
I wonder what Juliana is going to say to all this.
She would say this is a setup, and I'm
It's a setup because someone.
I am not going to ask you what high school you went to because that'll start an all-out war. All right, let's see.
Brian James.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Have a good day. All right.
All
Well,
right.
I shouldn't have done that. but I ain't perfect.
Well, that's okay. It worked out fine. There's a little bit of lag, but considering this is absolutely live and on the spot and off the cuff, and we didn't plan any of this except you were going to be on the street, I think it's going great. So I don't want to keep you away
Oh,
from.
well, hey, hang on.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, have, have y'all already signed the petition? Well, do y'all think that we should have term limits? Absolutely. So, well, I can't argue with that.
All right, so we're getting some pretty good lag, dude. All right, I'm gonna disconnect Duke for just a little bit. We're getting a pretty good bit of lag, but so hopefully he'll be able to join back in just a second. But that just goes to show you that was completely unplanned. I mean, we planned to have Duke come in, but that was completely unplanned and unscripted as to whose house he was going to walk up to and who he was going to talk to. So, I mean, he could have walked up to any of our politicians on the Good Old Boys Network's house and gotten the exact opposite response. But that goes to show you the hard work that all of them are putting in, and literally blood, sweat, and tears, especially sweat today because it's bumping 100 degrees out there. And Duke and the Colonel and our good friend Ryan Haygood, I don't want to leave anybody out. Cassie Rogers, who else is out there? They've all been walking. Wes Marriott was out there walking today. I was out there the other day, did a little bit of walking, gathered a few signatures. And so that's what the Term Limits Coalition is all about. Now, I don't want to reveal too much. And again, I'm going to see if Duke can come back in, but he's lagging a pretty good bit. But we're very near the goal. We're very near the goal line with the Bossier Term Limits Coalition. So I don't want anybody to be disheartened over the shenanigans that happened at the Charter Commission meeting that we reviewed last week. Honestly, none of that matters. The coalition for term limits and the second petition has been moving forward at a rapid pace, especially now that several people have stepped up to the plate to help. And look, if you want to help, feel free to reach out to us and we'll get you out there with some petitions where you can get them signed. Even if you haven't signed the petition yet, let us know in the comments or send us a Facebook message or something like that. We want to make sure that we get everybody signed up because we're going to hit the goal line much earlier than the city and the Good Old Boys and Richard Ray and all of his cohorts, David Montgomery, the Queen himself, Princess Juliana. We're going to hit that goal line much earlier than any of them anticipated. All right. So he hadn't been able to come back in yet, but that's okay. He's probably talking to those folks to see if they want to sign the term limits petition. So I want to go over a couple of things with you real quick. First of all, and we're going to see if Duke will be able to come back in. I want to explain the little cartoons that you've been seeing. And again, I'm kind of buying some time here to see if we can get Duke back in. But I've spun up what I'm calling the Cartoon Factory. And it's kind of a nod to the old school days of doing cartoons and caricatures. And a lot of times that can, in the political scheme of things, can get some very pointed commentary across just in some simple pictures or simple cartoons. And so we decided to take a little old school there and do the Cartoon Factory. And I don't know why, but apparently the witches behind the scenes typing up emails and typing up shall we say, agendas and all the things that they're typing up was pretty popular because the reach of that particular cartoon, I mean, for organic reach, went pretty berserk. I mean, this was, I took a screenshot of this yesterday or day before, and it had actually reached 2,700 people with a bunch of comments and likes and shares and all that sort of thing. Terry, we need about, so let me put the comment up. Terry says, how many signatures do y'all need? We need about 3,000, give or take a little bit. If Duke comes back on or the Colonel does, we'll get that exact number, but we're pretty close. All right, let me see if I can get Duke on. Hold on. All right, Mr. Lowry, you made it back.
All right. Sorry, I don't know if I dropped or you booted me or what happened.
It was getting a little laggy and then it kind of just timed out. But how did that go?
Well, as it would turn out, they both wanted to sign the petition and strongly supported term limits. However, they are registered to vote in the parish.
Oh, so it
No
doesn't do any
signatures.
good. Yeah, no signature because that wouldn't do any good for city limits. All right. Can you give us an estimate? Because we've been asked in the comments, can you give us an estimate of where the number of signatures is currently versus what the goal is?
I would say that we are 3/4 there.
Yes, the goal line is within sight.
The goal line is within sight, and it's not a matter of if we're going to reach the goal line. It's simply a matter of when. And I, anyway, I will say this: I am looking forward to Independence Day.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I kind of dropped the hint that we were going to finish much earlier. It seems like if the pace keeps up and all y'all keep sweating to the oldies out there, that we were going to hit the goal line much earlier than anybody anticipated. So does that still look to be the case?
Yeah, it definitely looks to be the case. We're processing through signatures. You know, like I said, the last time we had, I don't know, maybe it was 300 to 400 signatures that weren't valid and couldn't be counted. And we're going through all that we've collected already. And, you know, we will have a percentage of those signatures that, you know, will be the same
Right.
way that we can't count. But that just comes with this type of deal. But we are going to get this done. And uh, the what is that you always say? The Bossier benevolent overlords are going to have another decision or another fight on their hands. And I will say this, and I'll go ahead and kind of throw this out there. We already have a little bit of intel on the methods to which they intend to try to fight it this time.
Hmm.
And I think everybody in Bossier, while a lot of people uh, found it disgusting the last time, they're going to really find it disgusting this time.
Oh, gee, you mean they're not going to go quietly into the night and just accept the term limits?
No, you shouldn't say just accept term limits. What folks should say is they're not just going to let the citizens have a voice,
Ah.
because that's what this is. This isn't uh, this isn't, you know, having term limits. This is letting you, the citizens, have the vote and let you make the decision. Remember, like Juliana says, you know, everyone out here is deceived and they don't know all sides of it. They are ignorant to term limits. They don't know what it is. Um, she should get out of the office a little bit and come knock on some doors and ask people themselves, because I can tell you, people are a whole lot sharper out here than what they're given credit for.
Oh, I agree. Just the little bit that I've helped and the doors that I knocked on and the people I talked to. I mean, I even met one of our city councilman's cousins, and his cousin, the city councilman, is not in favor of term limits, so that narrows the list down. But the cousin absolutely wanted to sign the term limits petition, so I'll just throw that out there as well.
Yeah, so I look forward to the next shows we're going to have in the coming weeks and months, watching this thing wiggle through Bossier's veins, because there's going to be plenty of entertainment for us, at least on Bossier Watch, and show folks in the city the true colors of your elected officials. And as they fight, this is what gets me, Rex, is they don't even realize that they're showing their colors the more that they try to prevent the citizens of Bossier having a voice. They don't even realize it.
You're exactly right. I mean, it's not like we're making anything up. We're just parroting and making fun of what they say, but we're letting them speak for themselves. You're absolutely right. They're just showing their true colors.
What I really wish I could know what wagers they made between each other on that we weren't going to be able to get it done, and we were done and wouldn't do it again. That's what I really want to know. I want to know who's going to lose the money.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you too long because obviously that out there, what you guys are sweating your rear ends off doing is the priority. And, you know, it's going to be a short show tonight. I've got a few more things I'm going to go over without revealing too much because we have some explosive information in the next week or two that we're going to be sharing out. Lots of interesting things. So, I don't know.
We're gonna we're gonna also have a story about legislative continuances.
That should be interesting. Shift gears a little bit and pay attention to Baton Rouge just a little bit.
Well, with a sprinkle of Northwest Louisiana in there and a sprinkle of Baton Rouge, and you get a real good little mess up here for some local legislators.
Oh, imagine that. They're not quite living up to what they said they were going to do. Imagine that. All right, Mr.
I'm checking out.
All right, drink plenty of water. Tell the Colonel and everybody we said hello and thank you all for doing that.
Yep, you got that right. Good night, everybody, from me.
All right, see you later. All right, folks, so there you have it. Now, we're not done yet, so I'm going to ramble on here for just a couple of minutes, and so I want you to stay with me for just a minute. But there you have it. They're out there sweating. I mean, Duke and the Colonel and them, they took a little bit of a break around 3:30, 4 o'clock, got some water, came in the air conditioning for a little bit, and then they're back out there again. And like I said, Cassie Rogers, Wes Marriott's been out there. Of course, the Colonel has. Who else? I think Cliff Smith has done some help. I'm probably leaving some people out. Ryan Haygood, and I'm sure he's probably got some friends with him, have been out there sweating to help. I went and did a little bit of it. Honestly, not much. I'm doing the keyboard warrior thing. All right. But here's what I want to talk about. So I'm sure most of you know and have seen our post that Preston Friedley resigned. That's right. Preston Friedley resigned on Friday from the Charter Commission. Now, this is kind of interesting. And here's the letter that he sent, or email that he sent to Richard Ray, and I guess to the rest of the Charter Commission. He says, after much thought and prayer and discussion with my family, I feel it will be in the best interest of Bossier City if I step down as chairman and resign from my position as a member of the Bossier City Charter Review Commission. It's my hope that you will get a majority of the members together to finish the business that the Charter Review Commission has started and worked on for the last 6 months. Please pass on my appreciation to all the other members of the commission who have given their valuable time and to work through this important process. Also, he appreciates what Richard Ray and Miss Nottingham have brought to the table with their expertise and knowledge. Blah, blah, blah. He'd like to thank Chris Smith, who nominated him, and the members of the city council who approved him as a member of the commission. That last statement, folks, as y'all ponder over the next week or so till our next show, I want y'all to ponder on this last sentence. He'd like to thank Chris Smith, City Councilman Chris Smith, who is also his son-in-law, full disclosure, but that's no secret, that nominated him, and the members of the City Council who approved him, because that's going to be critically important in the future. Now, Richard Ray had a response, and Keel reported on that, I think it was today or yesterday. Richard Ray had the response, says, please join him in thanking Mr. Friedley for his efforts thus far. The significant progress we have made is due in large part to his leadership for the past 6 months. So they went from straight up calling each other liar, liar, pants on fire, to playing nicety nice and thanking each other and going through the motions. But I want you to remember that statement about being approved by the city council. Now, I can't reveal too much of it yet because Duke and I both have to vet this information some more, and we've got to do some more digging and the things that we do behind the scenes. But we have got some potentially explosive, let me see if I'm, how I want to put this, some explosive content to release maybe next week or the week after. We thought we were going to be ready tonight, but we're not quite. And the priority, honestly, was getting the term limits petition signed. But we've got some potentially explosive content, possible extortion, possible malfeasance in office, and what I would call general treachery. I'm not going to say who or what it is right now, but again, let's say if it vets out, it's pretty bad. Ryan Haygood says, why does Richard Ray still have a job? Well, that's a good question, Ryan. And the short answer would be because Tommy supports term limits in principle. He's stated he does multiple times. He's signed the petitions. But he needs to get control of a circus that's going on, being the city attorneys and assistant city attorneys and the people that he appoints. He needs to get control of that. I want to put up, and I'm not going to say who sent this to us. If you're watching it in the comments and want to reveal, that's fine, but I'm not going to say. But I want y'all to ponder on this. Louisiana Revised Statute 1466, extortion. A, extortion is the communication of threats to another with the intention thereby to obtain anything of value or any acquittance, advantage, or immunity of any description. Any one of the following kinds of threats shall be sufficient to constitute extortion. And so highlighted, number 3, a threat to expose or impute any deformity or disgrace to the individual threatened or to any member of his family or to any other person held dear to him. Number 4, a threat to expose any secret affecting the individual threatened or any member of his family or any other person held dear to him. Number 5, a threat to cause harm as retribution for participation in any legislative hearing or proceeding, administrative proceeding, or in any other legal action. And the penalty for that is shall be imprisoned at hard labor for not less than 1 nor more than 15 years. I want you to remember that. And I want you to also remember malfeasance in office. This is RS 14-134. Malfeasance in office is intentionally refuse or fail to perform any duty lawfully required of him, such as an officer or employee. Or number 3, knowingly permit any other public officer or public employee under his authority to intentionally refuse or fail to perform any duty lawfully required of him or to perform any such duty in an unlawful manner. Just a couple of things to ponder on over the next week or two. And, you know, we all saw the soap opera that went on last week. Again, we've known and we've said this pretty much more than once on the show. That's a sideshow distraction. The real deal is the term limits petition. As you saw live tonight, it is ongoing and going ahead strongly. So we'll just have to see who all gets involved. I don't know. I mean, there are multiple agencies in the state that are charged with dealing with events that transpired, such as last week and that whole fiasco at a public meeting. So some folks might have some things to be worried about. All right, let me check the comments real quick. And Price says Charter Commission is a sham packed with spouses of elected officials who oppose term limits. I'm glad you said that, Miss Ann. Let me share another piece of information that was sent to us. So hold on just a second. Y'all are going to really find this interesting. Let me share this picture. Oh, who is that right there in these pictures? Does anybody recognize who that is? Does anybody recognize him? Does anybody recognize this guy? Does anybody want to say in the comments who that might be? Anybody want to guess? Because it's very interesting here that, well, Sandra Morhart, that's the lady on the left side of this picture. Sandra Morhart was not appointed by David Montgomery. Sandra Morhart was appointed by Bubba Don Williams to the Charter Commission. And yet, here she is. She's been appointed by Bubba Don Williams, who is against term limits. And she's standing here with a political sign with her husband, Travis Morhart, who just so happens to be the CPA and auditor for many of the public entities. And lo and behold, she's standing there with Queen David himself, who is staunchly opposed to term limits. I mean, what are the chances of that? And yet she was the one at the center of the agenda situation with the Charter Commission. Odd coincidence that all this happens. All right. That's pretty much it for tonight, folks. I know this is kind of a short show, but again, the term limits were the priority. There was no city council meeting this week. No real change in the drama surrounding the Charter Commission that we can report on just yet. But it's coming, and we're definitely coming in with both guns loaded, so to speak, on Bossier Watch every Tuesday night, and especially next Tuesday night and the Tuesday night after that. We've also got some other stuff we're going to talk about with the police jury and then some of these legislative actions that have happened down in Baton Rouge concerning and connected to our local Bossier Parish and Bossier City legislators. And so we'll be talking about that. Jessica Langley Maddox says Juliana Parks. Well, there might be some stuff involving the princess herself, Ryan Haygood. There will be indictments. I don't know. We'll see. That's kind of out of our control. But let's just say the powers that be above our local benevolent overlords might be aware of the situation. And Wes Marriott says he's singing "It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood." A wonderful day in the neighborhood. So anyway, I'll let everybody get out of here. Short show tonight. We appreciate everybody watching. We had over 100 people watching at one point. We hope you enjoyed the little segment there, the Man on the Street segment with Duke Lowry, showing you what it's like to get signatures on the term limits petition, as well as getting honest, unscripted feedback from people signing the term limits petition. So we hope you enjoyed that. Y'all know the drill. If you want to help us keep this show rolling, bossierwatch.org. There's a place there you can make a donation. You can buy a coffee mug from us, something like that. All that helps pay the light bills and the software bills and all that. You can make donations. If nothing else, just like and share the comment. Go over to the YouTube channel. If you're not on YouTube right now, go over to the YouTube channel, search for Bossier Watch, and then subscribe with your Gmail account or Google account. Subscribe to the show. We're getting very close there, and that also will help us be able to do all this cool stuff and bring you all this very interesting content that you'll find nowhere else. Anyway, appreciate it. Appreciate all the commentary. Appreciate everybody helping out that are helping out with the term limits. And that's it. We'll see y'all next Tuesday.